You know what I mean? You're not just coming from France, are you?
No, I've been here for like 15 years.
Huh?
I've been here for like 15 years.
15 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I already pressed the recording button, but I asked you about France to ask about this. You've been here for 15 years, but like you were living in France for a long space of time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I was born in Ivory Coast.
Okay.
Like West Africa. And
Yeah.
Because my dad is from Ivory Coast, but my mom is from France, right?
Okay.
So I was going back and forth. Like most of my family on my mom's side is in France.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my family from my dad's side is in Ivory Coast. So
okay,
more like a back and forth type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, I ask you to ask this: what's the main difference between French girls and Canadian girls or North American girls? Let's say.
Honestly. That's a good one.
That's not even on the page.
I know, right? No. Funny thing is, I don't know, like, to be quite honest, North America kind of dominates everything.
Okay.
So everybody is pretty much trying to be like American, you know, like the culture, especially if you're black, because in France, for example, the main culture when it comes to blackness is hip hop.
Okay.
And actually, even when it comes to the youth.
Mm-hmm.
So in France, there's not much of a big distinction between whites and blacks as far as the youth.
Yeah.
Because everybody feels like the older generation, because the ones in politics or whatever, they don't care about the youth, right?
Right.
So the music for the youth is hip hop. So when it comes to girls and stuff like that, I mean,
you know, listen, I'm from Montreal originally, okay, and this is off topic, but you know, I guess we'll try to spin it around. But I'm from Montreal originally, okay?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm allowed to say that back in the days when I was growing up, the French girls were the easier ones.
But guess what, though? The funny thing is, when it comes to, and that's the thing, though, because a lot of girls from here,
mm-hmm.
or even any place that's not French speaking, they love the French guys. Especially they're like,
the accent.
You know what I mean? And the funny thing is that I always, when I started, like, because the way I taught myself how to speak English was like listening to a lot of hip hop and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I never really wanted to sound like the French guy. You know, when they speak like, hey, how are you doing today? I would like to talk to you. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
To me, that was corny. I'm like, if I'm going to speak another language, at least I'm going to make the effort, right?
Yeah.
But obviously people feel like, okay, you have an accent and everything. So yeah.
It's hard to kick that, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, definitely English girls kind of like that. But, you know.
Okay. So,
it is what it is.
Okay, you know, speaking of France and stuff like that, let's see if we can start off our audio journey at least with something like this.
MC Solar.
Hey,
yeah,
we back at it, man.
For real.
We love hip hop.
I had to take you on a hip hop ride. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Back in the days.
Yeah, for real.
Just to check your temperature, see if you know your shit.
Oh, come on, man.
We love hip hop.
That's a classic, man.
Jeez.
MC Solar, là, je te donne du
Merci, c'est très gentil, mais je ne mange pas de porc.
Bouge de là.
Classique.
Tu sais, je parle français, hein.
Ah ouais, je sais.
Mais mon français, c'est pas le même français que vous.
En France, ouais.
En France, c'est québécois.
D'accord.
They said, and you know, for the people who are in our listening audience or our viewing audience who don't understand, the listening audience they're not going to be able to get the little subtitles. I said, we don't speak the same French in France that we speak in Quebec.
Yeah.
I heard a long time ago, from a girl from France, from Belgium, actually.
Yeah.
She said, her parents said, Quebecois speak French like English cows.
Oh my God. I wouldn't go there, but I would say that when it comes to Quebec, most of the time they actually translate French to English like word for word. Right?
Yeah.
But us is kind of like different. But honestly, funny enough, like whenever I go to Montreal, I only speak English because sometimes it's kind of hard for me to catch the accent sometimes. Exactly.
Yeah. It sounds like it does sound like a very twangy twangy accent, but that's besides the point. This is right now a conversation that we're about to have in English,
Exactly.
right? With a gentleman who's been putting in some music for a while. He's been moving around, moving and shaking. He's over there in France and the Ivory Coast, as we spoke about, but also spent a multitude of years over here in Toronto.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with no further ado, we have Sty-Low in the motherfucking building.
Yeah, man.
And I pronounced that right?
Sty-Low.
Yeah, man. So how you feeling, fam? Like,
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Like I say, it's an honor to be here because, like I told you, man, you are like the new generation Master T, you know, like collecting all those like stories from Toronto rappers and everything. So yeah.
Oh,
I believe that if you are making hip hop in Toronto, if you don't come here, I mean, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
They're playing themselves, and I appreciate the kind words. Also, before I continue, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsors. Check out Astro Pink. Hit them up on their website. I'm all mixed up with my words. Big salute to Astro Pink. Check them out on their website, myastropink.com, or you can hit them up on their Instagram, the real Instagram, astro_pink. If you know, you know. I'm about to spark up some of that right now. But even with like, I've been doing some research on you right here.
Okay.
You got this music video Dif'ren, like spelled DIFF.
Yeah.
Apostrophe EN, right?
Mm-hmm.
That dropped about a month ago.
Yeah.
It's almost like 300,000 views, fam.
Yeah, man.
What does it feel like? How does that love feel like, fam?
Pressure. Pressure because my previous one got 1 million views, right?
It did.
So to me, it's like, I look at it like, okay, I have 700K to go, right?
Yes.
If I don't reach that, to me, I would feel like I failed, you know? So yeah, that's pressure.
So even with that, right?
Yeah.
You start getting these high level of views, especially like the last video did 1 million. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You start having people like hitting you up in the street, like, yo, Sty-Low, yo, one.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's funny? Like, I'm very low key. No pun intended. Low key.
Yeah.
But I definitely saw a big difference, especially when it comes to my following and the type of DM that I get and everything. So sometimes you have to filter.
Yes.
Because I definitely, and to be honest with you, I'm not really the type to brag about who is my DM or whatever. Because to me, it's like, okay, we see you.
Yeah.
So now it's up to me because some people are going to be like, okay, that person DM me and then screenshot and post it or whatever.
Yeah.
To me, that's not really my thing. My thing is like, okay, if that person tells me that they see what I do, now it's up to me to make sure that I can keep working and get on that level too, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it, you know?
Okay. So you're saying you got some big time check mark people in the DMs, eh?
I guess I did.
Okay. You know, we're in an interview. You could tell us now. It won't be. You could get your humble brags off, humble stunts.
Nah, I'd rather not. You know, I'd rather not. Okay. To me, it's more like, let's put, for example, you know, when you have like a big star, taking a picture with that person, right? When you're on a certain level, you're gonna have the reflex will be for you to post that picture with that person. But me, I look at it as I want to get to the level where that person posts me on their page.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is why I don't. My people know so what, but I don't feel like posting about it because again, to me, that's motivation to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yes,
pressure. So everything that I get is more like, okay, we see you, keep doing what you do. You got 1 million last video, and now you're only at 300. You have 700K to go.
Yep.
You know, so, and that's why my Instagram is Mister D.O.P.E. That stands for determination on point every day.
Determination on point every day.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that down. That's going to be the name of this episode. You know what I'm saying?
Alrighty.
Yeah, man. And there's some water there if you want. You know what I'm saying? I took the labels off just because, you know, they're paying us.
I know
determination.
On point every day.
On point every day.
Yeah.
What does the name represent? Sty-Low. And I'm pronouncing it right. Sty-Low, right? What does the name represent?
Well, my first name is Dif'ren.
Okay.
So Sty, that's like fun. And low is because when I'm rapping, I rap with that low tone voice. Yeah. I kind of call my style the whisper roar. Yeah, because like I'm roaring, but kind of like I'm whispering, you know?
Yeah. You know what? And this is about you.
Okay.
But I used to make music, you know what I'm saying? Once upon a time. Catch me on Spotify. I understand because I have this, not the same tone, but I do the very low tone when I was rapping, you know,
Okay.
especially near the end of my rap career.
Okay.
The reason I bring this up is even like the studio process.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a hard time like developing that style, especially with the engineers, making sure that they mix it right, that you're not getting drowned in the music and stuff? Because I ran into that problem when I was first developing my style.
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
To be quite honest, when I first started, I always was rapping kind of low. And the funny thing is that whoever I was dating then, you know, when you're in the mood or whatever, some way you talk or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So the funny thing is that, you know, you say certain things and they're like, oh, I like how you say that, right? So funny enough, because I was trying to make her like what I was doing, that's when I started going even low and low and lower, right? You know what I'm saying? Because at first I was rapping like regular, but not always low because I don't like to scream, right? But the whisper were like, my name is Sty-Low. That thing, that came like from that, right?
Yeah, she's like, oh, do it lower.
You know what I'm saying? So the funny thing is, at first I used to do everything because I make my own beats, everything, and I used to mix my stuff myself, right? But the one thing that I've learned is that when you make your own beats, it's really hard to mix your vocal properly because you are so attached to the beat that you want every instrument to be heard. And sometimes you're going to swallow so that's why I was like, I'm going to stop doing it myself. Actually, writing the Vib'n, I mixed it all myself.
Yeah.
But for Dif'ren, I went to the studio. Can I?
Yeah, shout them out.
So Achieve Dream Studio. I went there. So shout out to Hills and Webb. So yeah, I went there and they did a great job when it comes to mixing the voice and everything. So it took a long time because even when I was rapping in French, people were mixing my voice and you can hear what I was saying, especially because I rap fast and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I started, because at first, one of the first songs that I did in English was in French, right?
Okay.
So they didn't understand what I was saying. So even worse, they wouldn't mix like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely a long process, especially because, like I said, I rap fast sometimes and all that stuff. So I had to also accept the fact that, well, I'm not trying to be Twister or Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
That's my favorite group and everything. But I had to slow down my flow because you're either going to try to prove to yourself that you can be the fastest rapper or you're going to make sure that you want people to understand what you say, right?
And say some shit. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
yeah. No, I fuck with it, man. And I have like a generic question over here, like describe your rap style. Yeah. But like, I feel like we can revisit that.
Okay.
Because you mentioned something about rapping in France and stuff like that, or rapping in French before that. Now, I'm going to ask you a really techie question.
Okay.
Were you feeding a different algorithm? Like, were you feeding like, you know how like we have YouTube in Canada, YouTube in well, not China, but like other places, right?
Yeah.
So were you like getting a lot of views in that algorithm as well?
When I was in France? Yeah, but to be honest with you, when I was doing my thing, because it was actually between France and Ivory Coast, right? So over there, for example, when I used to be over there, there's certain videos that you can watch here.
Right.
Like when you try to watch, you will say the provider,
not available.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
This is why I'm asking you this question.
Yeah. But funny enough, here, it's everywhere. So a lot of views that I get, I still get them from my people in France, Africa, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, but over there, it was different. Like I was getting views, but not as many as now, though.
Okay. Yeah. No, because like I always like, you know, when you're coming from different countries and stuff like that, like, you know, the YouTube algorithm system like works different in different places. Yeah. So like you just said, like, you know, they're gonna make only like the French stuff and more stuff that's like catered to that demographic more available. Yeah. And then other stuff not available in France.
Right? But over there though, to be honest with you, like I always felt like maybe because of people like Drake and Tory Lanez and everybody that the weekend, Toronto is like more international now, right?
Yes.
But back then, I mean, even for you know, like rappers from Montreal, like Rain Man and Sans Pression and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to,
you know your shit.
Oh yeah, you have to pretty much branch out to go to France to get some type of recognition, right?
Like Enoch.
Exactly.
Why not? Yeah. I know my shit too, bro. Come on, fam. I'm from Montreal.
For real. So, you have to do that, right? So here, it was kind of the same thing. Like, you kind of had to make it in the States in order to get, but in France, though, if you are big in France, you are big in the whole French Africa.
Yeah.
You are big in the whole Caribbean, like French Caribbeans. You are big in Montreal. So those guys, like, you have big rappers like Booba, like, all those guys. Yeah, they make money, millions of views and everything. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of not hard, but I had to adapt.
Yeah.
To be here and be like, you know what? Now I'm kind of losing my fan base over there because they won't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that I have people that still mess with me and stuff like that, I was still able to, you know what I'm saying?
You'll still pop up in the suggestion.
Yeah, still. Because my brother is also a rapper, right? My brother, but actually he doesn't rap anymore in France. He's like more like an executive type of stuff now.
Okay.
Yeah, he has his own label in France and everything. So he has connections. So whenever I send him the stuff, he's going to spread the stuff. So I'm kind of, using all those things to be able to sustain my visibility. Yeah.
That's dope, man.
That's why now I'm trying to get out of my shell and do interviews with people like you. So at least, because I've been living in Toronto for a while. So I said, sorry, I'm killing it on the internet, but I also want to become a household name in my city.
Yeah.
That's Toronto, right? So that's why now I'm trying to, because I don't really do interviews like that. I'm, like I said, low key. So yeah, I'm happy that I can do that right now.
And even like, let's stay on that. Like, as, people, we could both relate to each other. I moved here from Montreal maybe 23 years ago now.
Oh, okay.
Even longer. Yeah, I moved here a long fucking time ago. Right? And I knew that, I know back then, because I was from a different city, it was hard to break in and get that acceptance in the scene.
Yeah.
How about with you? Have you been experiencing that right now?
To be honest with you, man, I feel like I'm an island because I can't say, because I mean, everybody here was born here or grew up here or been here for a long time. So they have their crews, they have their neighborhood, they have their thing that they represent. I'm like an outcast, right?
Yeah.
I can't say that I represent this, that, because I've always been, honestly, I was in Ontario for a while, but I was going from London, Ontario to Kitchener to Oshawa to Brampton. So I can't say that I represent a city like this. So I just said Toronto, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like an underdog type of stuff because I feel like people have their own affiliations, their own friends, their own everything. So I know for a fact that I come like, where is he coming from? He's coming out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't really feel like I'm not gonna say I don't feel like I belong, but it's like I'm different. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what it is. You know what I mean?
Fam, from the time I listened to that song, that hook has been in my head, bro.
Appreciate that.
Like, that you did your thing with that one right
Appreciate
there.
That, man.
And you mentioned that you taught yourself English, right?
Yeah.
Was it only through hip hop and stuff, or like was it TV stuff? You know what I mean? What else? Because it can't just be only music, fam.
Mostly, to be quite honest, the first thing that I was doing was listen to like obviously rap song and everything, and also shout out to Bone Thugs Harmony because that's my favorite group ever.
Yeah.
So these are the people that I've been listening to, Tupac and all that stuff. So I have a friend who was like, "Hey, there's that one website. It was a website I was called OHALA, the original hip hop archive lyrics or whatever, some old stuff, right?
I remember that site.
You know what I'm saying? That's where I was taking the lyrics, and with the lyrics, I was actually listening to how they were saying words.
Okay,
because I wanted to sound a certain way. I didn't want to sound like the French guy that speaks English, right? So I started listening to how certain people were saying certain words, learning the lyrics, and I was like, I was always about a West Coast sound, accent or whatever. So I chose to kind of sound like that. You know what I mean? And yeah, so that was the enunciation part of it.
Yeah.
when it comes to understanding the vocabulary and everything, I was watching a lot of English movies with French subtitles.
Okay.
So again, I would watch what they say, how they say it, and that's pretty much how I developed it. And then when I moved to Toronto, you start to talk to people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely knew that I wasn't sounding like the Toronto guys.
Yeah.
I know it was different again.
Wagwan version.
All
The
that.
Toronto
You know
man
what I'm saying?
slang.
Yeah. So, yeah.
No, it's super interesting to me, bro, because you gotta understand English is a really hard language to learn. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of words that sound the same, spelled differently, some spelled the same.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of different rules that come with English that don't apply in other languages.
Yeah. I mean, I'm blessed because I speak two languages or whatever, but one thing though, I can't freestyle in English. You know why? Because freestyling is like coming up like the top of your head. And
yes.
Most people that only speak English, the only words that come to their head is English words.
English words.
Me, I think French stuff or whatever. So it's like, you know?
Yeah, you got to translate first.
Yeah. So, but to be honest with you, I got to the point where the only thing that I still do in French is counting.
Okay.
Yeah, like when I do push-ups or I do a trois, whatever.
Yeah.
But everything else, like I have two daughters, right? And I only speak French to them.
Okay.
However, they both speak English to each other. They don't want to speak French to each other, right? So I dream in English. When I hurt myself, I don't say I say ouch.
Yeah.
So even when I speak to myself, like
when you're talking to yourself in your head.
Yeah. I always do like a lot of affirmation and stuff like that, like, you know, and I do that in English. Like, funny enough, I was watching because I like a lot of old kung fu flicks and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I only realized that yesterday, that whenever I'm looking for subtitles, I look for the English subtitles. I don't even think about the French stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I told my mom yesterday, I'm like, I'm destroyed. Like,
no, it's funny how the mind works, man.
Yeah.
Like you can literally, it's a muscle, fam. You could train it to just start doing different things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that you're sharing this information.
Yeah.
Because I think people can take from this. You can train your brain to do anything if you put your mind to it, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And even with you, like, out here, because it doesn't mean that you didn't know anybody out here. You linked up with Infinite so far.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to our sponsors, Astro Pink, always coming with that loud. Check them out on their website, myastropink.com, or you can hit them up on Instagram at astro_pink. If you know, you know. I mean, what I'm saying? How'd you link up with Infinite?
The crazy part when it comes to Infinite is that Infinite, because let's keep it real. Before I moved to Canada, I didn't even know there were black people in Canada like that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we didn't know that there were black people that were actually born here.
Yeah.
To us, it was like most people like that come here like to study and stuff like that. So I wasn't even aware of the fact that there were Canadians. So Infinite, we knew of Infinite in France. We just thought he was an American guy.
From his music videos from back in the day.
All that. You know what I'm saying? We thought he was an American guy. I think the only two guys that I knew of were him and Chaclair.
Okay.
You know? But we didn't know that there were, and I guess Cardinal Official, when he got signed to Akon and stuff, that's when I knew of him. But Infinite, that Gotta Get Mine song, I knew that, you know? So when I got here, my baby mama, she was like, oh yeah, this is Infinite, because she was introduced, because she was into music as well, here and all that stuff. And so that's kind of how her and I linked up. But the point is, she introduced me to a lot of Toronto rappers and stuff like that. So once she let me hear that song, I was like, I know that guy, you know? Oh yeah. And to me, honestly, I can't lie. To me, no disrespect to anybody, but to me, that's my favorite or the best Canadian rap song ever made. Like, to me, that's, top. And
don't worry about it, fam. There's a lot of people who won't give you no pushback on that, fam. You're
you know
good on that, bro.
So shout out to Infinite. He's definitely my favorite Canadian rapper. That's a fact. And I hit him up years ago on Twitter, when I used to have Twitter, right? And I would just give him props or whatever. And he replied to me like, yo, what's up, right? So we kept in touch. And when I shot my video for Riding the Vib'n, I invited him. I'm like, if you don't mind showing up, come, whatever. And he came. And to me, I don't know how to say it in English, but there's a French saying that say,
dis-le en français.
Les tonneaux vides sont toujours sont bruyants, meaning like empty barrels make the most noise or whatever. Because somebody like him that accomplished so much stuff, he's so humble.
Okay.
Like, he's humble. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you see him in his videos, you see what he accomplished, but when you see him in person, he's so humble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him, he came to my music video. He asked me for anything. He was like there. He stayed from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, wow, like, so we kept in touch. And then when I reached out to him again and asked him if he could do the outro for my song, he was like, sure. And he came to the studio and say what he said, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Infinite's bigging me up. So, that's like, yeah. So that's definitely a mentor of mine, and I got a lot of respect for him,
No, my salute to Infinite.
Facts.
That's a walking hip hop legend out here,
Facts.
bro. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying?
Facts.
Just last few things that I want to talk to you here about, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the biggest obstacles in the rap game, period. Not even just for being here, just in the rap game, period.
Money. I think, and that's funny that you talk about it, because you see, when you are independent and doing everything on your own, that's when you are faced with reality as far as how much money it costs, especially if you want quality stuff. So when I think about the youth, right, the youngsters and the young rappers and everything, when I hear this person got indicted, that person is going to jail or whatever, I understand. I'm not going to say that I condone it, but I understand, because it takes a lot of money. Luckily, I have a 9-to-5. You know what I'm saying? And I have a job that allows me to also not be seen everywhere. So then I'll be, Sty-Low. No. So I have that job that allows me to work low key, make the money that I make, and be able to invest, take care of my kids, and invest in the music, right?
Yeah.
But imagine, like, because one thing that people fail to realize, and that's something that social media caused, the addiction for attention. Everybody want to show what they do, but they don't realize that the cops are watching. They don't have to do anything. They just have to sit and watch what you do.
Yeah.
So when they see that this young guy say that he comes from a housing project or whatever, but in his videos he has cars, he has this, he has that, that's a red flag. How did you get that money?
Yeah.
So again, my advice would be, do what you got to do, but be low key. Don't show off. Don't show too much, because people are watching.
Yeah.
So I would say, the biggest obstacle for me is definitely money. If my money was coming as fast as my ideas, I would shoot a video every day. That's a fact.
You need to listen. If you don't remember that, rewind this interview when you watch it and use that as a bar. Okay.
Facts.
If my money is coming as fast as my ideas,
I would shoot a video every day, for real.
Damn, I wish I still rapped. I would have used that.
Man.
What's one thing that life has taught you along the way that you could put in like 1 or 2 words?
Patience. Or guess what? I'm gonna put it in 4 words: determination on point every day.
Determination on point every
Dope.
day.
D.O.P.E.
Yeah.
Because if you want something, and I also always say that obstacles are only a way for you, actually only a way to show you how much you really want something. Because if you're gonna give up, you didn't really want it. Because I always say the only way to fail is giving up. There's no way for you to fail unless you give up. People won't come to you, oh, stop. Da, da, da. A lot of people can see where you're gonna be.
Yeah.
How far you can go. And because they know that they cannot stop you, they will try to put stuff in your head to be like, stop so you can stop yourself, because they know that only you can stop you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is something that I've learned along the way. Be patient. If you want something, go for it. And also understand that you have to have your priorities together. Everybody's different. I chose to be like, okay, you know what? I know what I'm trying to do, so I'm going to do what I have to do.
Yeah.
I have my kids. I have my bills. I have stuff to do. I'm going to get some type of education, whatever. And maybe I'm lucky because I'm bilingual, so that opens doors when it comes to jobs and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that, get a job, whatever, invest in my music. I will take the time that I have to take, but because I'm always about quality over quantity. So even if I drop a video every year, I will make sure that, first of all, when people look at that video, they're going to be like, okay, is it signed? Is it, because I'm always want to make sure that it's high quality.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I'm shortchanging the audience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Salute to Brown Guy made it on your videos as well, man. That's my guy.
Oh yeah. Trust me, like, funny enough, the first 2 videos that I did solo were with Knemesis.
You know what I'm saying? Knemesis too. That's my guy too.
Exactly. So he did Unbreakable. He did Right in the Vib'n. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when he came to Dif'ren, I guess because Knemesis is super busy and everything, right? But because I'm always checking for new directors or anything, and I saw a video because funny enough, there's a girl named, I forgot her name, but there was a fire breather in the video, that brown guy.
Charisse? Yeah.
Okay.
She was in one of my videos, but she didn't do fire breathing.
Oh, Cherish. Yeah, she was in my video, my Unbreakable video.
Yeah, I was watching the video and I was like, she was in my rap game video.
Okay.
But she was just like the main girl in the video, basically.
Okay.
She was the only girl in the video, actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
So she was in another video that brown guy did. And when I saw that video, because to be honest with you, most of the time when I see videos and I see what a director did, most of the time I'm like, I wonder if that director can do this or do that, because I have my own ideas, right? But when I saw what brown guy was doing, I was like, oh, that's exactly what I want. So I reached out to him. And the one thing that I liked about him was, the first thing he told me was like, I don't do no videos that are about diss tracks, anything violent. And I'm like, I respect that, because I'm all about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, I mean,
No, he's a real one with that, man.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He's been pushing that agenda around letting people know, like, don't holler at him if you want to go get at your ops, bro.
Because I dealt with a lot of stuff. Like, I don't know if people know, but I was in Ivory Coast when the Civil War started, right?
Yeah.
So I seen a lot of crazy stuff, right? So Survivor, and to be honest with you, up to maybe a few years ago, I still had PTSD, meaning that when I hear firecrackers, I don't panic only because I know I'm in Canada.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And up to a few, like, whenever I would be, let's say, walking in the streets, whenever I see a guy walking towards me, in my head, I tense because I expect him to attack me.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was that crazy over there.
It was that crazy. Wow. So even here, like, when I would be walking around, if I see somebody walking towards me, even in the street regular, if it's a man or whatever, I tense up because I'm getting ready.
Yeah, you're prepared.
Yeah.
You
know? So this is not something that I want to portray my music in. Another thing that I don't cuss in my raps.
Okay.
Because I used to rap in French, right? So when I started rapping in English and I'm like, my daughter's going to grow up and understand what I'm saying, I was like, I'm not trying to cuss and talk sexual shit or whatever. All that stuff, I'm not trying to talk about it in my music. And on top of that, as a French guy, I feel like there's so many words that I can use in English. Why always use the same words?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because not to disrespect anybody, everybody does what they want to do. But if you listen to the music nowadays, you can have 10 songs that have the same exact words. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
You know? So, and that's the reason why I made Dif'ren, because I was like, just like the intro, it's like everybody trying to sound the same. I grew up in an era where it was like biting, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a good thing, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm stuck in the 90s.
Okay.
Like, I'm a 90s guy, you know? And back then everybody was unique, everybody was different. I love Bone Thugs and Harmony, right? But even though I love them, I'm not trying to be them. I respect what it did, I respect what it do and everything, but I'm not trying to be them. I take
your own stuff.
Yeah, I grew up on gangster rap, but what I take out of it is the music quality, not necessarily what they talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is why I don't cuss in my raps and everything. So yeah, I mean, just trying to be me. Like I said, I'm the best because I'm the best me.
Yeah.
So,
no, fam. I really fuck with your attitude, bro. Like, you have a good mind state. You know what I'm saying? You got a good head on your shoulders. And yeah, man, like, it gives a better understanding of the music that you make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we learned a lot from our conversation here too, man. You know what I'm saying? About what to do in life when it comes to staying focused and stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
You dropped a lot of jewels here today, bro.
I'll try, man. I'll try.
What you got coming up next, man?
Well, I still have the goal to push Dif'ren, like, to the fullest and everything. But I also have a next one that I'm trying to shoot with a brown guy again. The song is called Captivating Your Brain. So that has more like a West Coast feel to it, because what I like to do is I like to alternate. Like the one that I did before was Right in the Vib'n. It had a West Coast vibe to it. So then I did Dif'ren that had more like a beat type of Southern vibe to it.
Yeah.
So the next one would be West Coast, and I guess the one that I do. So I like to alternate when it comes to that, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. You know, I'm pushing. Trying to be. I'm not gonna go as far as saying I'm trying to be a role model, but I know what being an artist does, and I want to still see RIP to take off. You know what I'm saying? Because
RIP take off.
It's a lot of people that don't understand that you can be who you are. You can still feel like you are the same person, but once you choose to be under the spotlight, people see you differently.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you don't want to feel like, okay, I'm forgetting my people, I'm giving up on. But the fact is, just like me leaving France to come here and everything, the friends that I left is not the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They always say that when you leave a place, in your head, that place is still the way it was when you left. So yeah, that's why I'm just trying to not, again, try to be a role model, but actions speak louder than words. And I'd rather lead by example. So that's pretty much what it is. So again, like, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to express myself, be there and everything. And hopefully, you know what I'm saying, I can come back again and show you the next and keep doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
No, man, we look forward to more music from you, fam.
Yeah,
man. Another one in the vault right here. I really enjoyed this conversation. You know what I mean? Big respect to Sty-Low once again. Sty-Low, my bad.
So,
I in French.
I know, right? Like the pen and stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, man. Big salute to the sponsors also. Once again, Astro Pink. Check them out on their Instagram, Astro_Pink, or on their website, myastropink.com. I'm gonna take us out with Dif'ren, man, for the listening audience, man.